baby was a skateboarder. He worked at FedEx. He had the best mother and stepfather in the world. Why would you want to do that to him?
That was the grandmother of Tyree Nichols. Honeycutt is asking lawmakers to take action so that her grandson's death won't be in vain.
Even though her heart is broken, Honeycutt says she prays for the officers charged with killing her grandson.
Hello, I'm Nye Martin.
And this is Tamia Jacobs.
And thank you for tuning in to Bama State News. Reporter Bria Bolden has the latest developments in the death of Tyree Nichols.
Former Officer Preston Hemphill is the latest in a string of firings connected to the death of Tyree Nichols. Hemphill, who had been with the Memphis Police Department since 2018, was assigned to the Scorpion Unit. He's seen on video from his body camera tasing Tyree Nichols after he was pulled out from his car. Hemphill can be heard saying, quote, "I hope they stop his expletive."
I think the very first thing you do is fire the officer that it has or that represents the epitome of what's wrong with police departments, and that is the idea that excessive force is commonplace.
Hemphill's termination was necessary, says Memphis City Councilman J.B. Smiley. Smiley and other city leaders are looking to bring changes to the police department when it comes to use of force, transparency, and more.
Now I'm waiting on District Attorney Steve Mulroy to bring charges against this officer.
Hemphill's attorney, Lee Gerald, says his client will, quote, "continue to cooperate with authorities as the investigation continues."
Multiple points in the video, there are times when respondents are standing, not offering care, not offering treatment.
In Nashville Friday, the State Board of Emergency Medical Services suspended the licenses of Jamichael Sandridge and Robert Long, two former Memphis Fire EMTs. An attorney for the Department of Health says they didn't help Nichols for at least 19 minutes while Nichols was in distress against a police car and on the ground that night.
This is egregious behavior for any human being, and this is not the reflection of EMS in the state of Tennessee.
The attorney says neither EMT examined Tyree, checked his vital signs, or administered oxygen or an IV, which they are trained to do. The board found both also violated Tennessee code through their actions.
Do we trust the ones that swear to protect and serve us here at Alabama State University? Reporter Montez Dennis takes a look into the student body and their feelings and hesitancies when it comes to campus safety and its officers.
With the recent police events occurring across America, it begs the question, are our campus police officers trained with the know-how on how to handle interactions like this? Fellow Hornets feel like the officers could be trained better and have a bit of skepticism and doubt when asked about the readiness of these police officers.
Sometimes yes and sometimes no. Like, we had a situation on camp one time where a homeman had a derogatory words on his poster about our students that are a part of the LGBT community, and they didn't realize he was on camp until a whole campus, the whole group of students started having an uproar about it.
With this idea of doubt and uncertainty coming from the student body, it can be hard for students to trust in their elected officials here on campus. But ASU Police Department has been working diligently to try to bridge that gap between students and the police here on campus.
Mentioning things like town halls and community policing, Lead Detective Kimberly Todd says she has faith in her officers and wants to reassure students that they have nothing to worry about and that the officers are equipped and trained with how to protect themselves and the students here on campus.
Every officer here has to go to a police academy. In the police academy, they do train you how to de-escalate, how to deal with riots, how to, just deal with a disgruntled individual. So yeah, I think that my officers are very well trained.
In Montgomery, Alabama, I'm Montez Dennis, Bama State News.
Safety on the campus of Alabama State University looks a lot different this year, with students being urged to log on to the Live Safe app to facilitate contact with safety officials. Director of Safety Deputy Kendrick from the Alabama State University Police Department says that the Live Safe app is a much more efficient way to get in contact with police as students carry their mobile devices everywhere.
Students gather at John Garrett Carty Center to express their concerns about Alabama State University campus life.
With the recent events going on across campus, a few members of SGA and administration believes that it is important to gather the student body together to discuss some of the issues that they face on campus. For Jalen Butler, this year has started off a little rocky.
Proudly about my school, but coming into this year, it has been a lot of issues that I've had, whereas it be dorm issues.
Jalen Butler also believes that no matter how small you think your voice is, it is still important to be heard.
It's some of the smallest voices that make the biggest differences, and I want people to know, unless you speak up, we and other administration and people outside of Alabama State don't know what's going on unless you say something.
Dr. Melinda Swoop saw this as a great opportunity to bridge the gap in between students and administrators.
And it is important that students feel that they have a comfortable atmosphere in which their voices can be heard, where they can express their concerns, where they can express their excitements, whatever it may be that they want to just have an open forum and dialogue between students and the administration.
If you missed this town hall meeting, SGA representatives alongside other Alabama State University administration plans to host similar events to discuss solutions on issues that take place on campus. In Montgomery, Alabama, I am Brianna Hurd for Bama State News.
Coming up after the break, gas prices continue to soar.
And the Alabama State Communications Department received a large donation from alumni and a big media company.
Prices at the pump are still on the rise, and consumers want to know when they will find relief. Reporter Tamia Jacobs has more on the story.
I try to fill up every Sunday, but my gas burns so quickly, so I try to say at least every Wednesday.
SGA Secretary Hope Smith, like many other students, is feeling the pressure of skyrocketing prices. Setting aside a schedule of when she fills the tank has been beneficial. In addition, Hope notes that budgeting has helped her stay afloat in these times of inflation.
Trying to budget for it. Currently, I like to put away at least $30 just for gas, just to have something in my tank.
However, she knows that prices are inevitable and quality matters a whole lot more.
I hope it goes down, but I know for quality you have to pay for it, and to just be safe on the road, gas will cost, so that's something I'm willing to pay for.
With the war in Ukraine killing tens of thousands of people, in addition to this immediate humanitarian crisis, the conflict has spurred an increase in energy prices that is rippling around the globe, hurting consumers and pressuring world leaders to ease economic strains. Dr. Suwana Cole, professor of economics at Alabama State University, says that it's more about politics than prices.
And now that because we interfere the Saudi Arabia politics.
In Montgomery, Alabama, this is Tamia Jacobs, Bama State News.
The Alabama State University Communications Department received a $100,000 donation from alumni Courtney Stewart. Stewart is the founder and CEO of Right Hand Company, Right Hand Foundation, and The Network Atlanta, and is famously known for signing award-winning global superstar Khaled. His donation to his alma mater and major brought about a lot of attention to the university.
New opportunities open for Alabama State University students as the Department of Communication launches an exciting partnership with Paramount. The program is called the Paramount Media Network's Culture HBCU Mentorship Program. The networking event consisted of a panel with professionals in the communications field, including Paramount staff members who talked to students about opportunities and access in the film, television, and music industry. The students had the chance to express their career aspirations as well as their concerns. Actor and producer Phoenix Higgins explains how important the Paramount event is for Alabama State University students and HBCUs in general. In excellent fashion, the Life Science Department has made another excellent achievement, bringing in over $2.6 million to the school for cancer research. Dr. Mishra is once again helping to establish Alabama State University as a leader in cancer research. Mishra, founder and director of the Cancer Biology Research and Training Program, has been awarded a 4-year, $2.6 million grant for the American Cancer Society, Diversity, and Cancer Research Institutional Development to continue the university's cutting-edge cancer research program and outreach.
Students, plus it is going to enhance the research capacity in cancer research. It is going to engage community members, different organizations, and educate them how to prevent cancer reoccurrence or cancer incidents in their families and friends and in the community.
See how Alabama State performs against Texas Southern.
And Kendall Manns has the latest highlights coming up after the break.
After an OT thriller in their previous game, the Alabama State University women's basketball team faced off against the #1 seed Texas Southern Tigers at the Dunn Oliver Aggadome. Kicking things off in the first half, the Lady Hornets and Tigers are tied at 23 all, with 8 minutes left as Ayanna Emanuel drives to the rack and dishes to Shamaya Ward for the easy layup. The crowd was loving the Hornets play. With the Hornets trailing midway through the fourth, a fast break layup by Jayla Crawford on a feed from Dakaya Sanders put the Hornets back up 65-64. Clutch free throws down the stretch propelled the Hornets to an 81-73 win. Head coach Freddie Freeman Jackson attributed the win to her team's improved composure and free throw shooting after a change of practice.
Psychology on my head, let them have a free throw competition to get my free throws in, opposed to telling them you got to make free throws, because free throws are psychological. So I made sure I played a game or whatever. They did a pretty good job and competed or whatever, and it worked.
Hosting the Texas Southern Tigers. Eric Coleman gets the ball at the top of the key off the dish from TJ Madlock and finds Big J.O. Jordan O'Neal for a nice turnaround hook shot to put the score at 20-19 in the Tigers' favor. O'Neal filled the stat sheet with 8 points, 11 boards, and 5 blocks. The mighty Marching Hornets and the Stingettes had the arena jumping. Madlock zooms past his defender, splits the D down the middle, and hits a tough layup to try and get the Hornets back in the game, but they come up short in a 71-65 loss. Madlock finished with the team high 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals.
Coming to the end of the third quarter, LeBron James, a shot at history, and there it is! LeBron stands alone!
LeBron James is the NBA's all-time leading scorer. With a 38-point effort, the Los Angeles superstar passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's long-standing record of 38,387 points, scored with a fadeaway jumper from the free throw line in the third quarter versus the Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday. LeBron had this to say after his historic milestone.
Once I get in a good rhythm, then I feel like I make any shot on the floor, you know, to break the record. I was able to get to a really good spot on the floor where I'm very comfortable with and get to one of my patented fadeaway shots, and I know a lot of people wanted me to go to the sky hook to break the record or one of my signature dunks, but my fadeaway was a signature play as well, and I was able to get it, and it touched nothing but the bottom of the net.
Now let's get to some football. We are just a week away from Super Bowl 57, and the two teams facing off in the big game, the Kansas City Chiefs, seen here on the left, and the Philadelphia Eagles, seen here on the right, arrived in Phoenix on Sunday. The Super Bowl will take place at State Farm Arena in Glendale. Football's crowning jewel moment has traditionally become the most watched television event of the year. About 100 million people are expected to tune in, and history will be made. The game will feature a matchup of black quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, for the first time ever. And two brothers on opposing teams, Jason and Travis Kelce, will also face off against each other. That's never happened before either. We can't talk about the Super Bowl without talking about the footballs. The footballs for the Super Bowl are made at a Wilson Sporting Goods plant in Ada, Ohio. The manager there says a lot of work goes into making the footballs, and it's all done by people, not machines. From cutting the leather to the sewing process, and then the lacing and molding the footballs. They finished them Monday, the day after the playoff games. They stamped the footballs with the team's names and shipped them to Arizona, where the big game will be played on February 12th. Each team gets 108 balls, 54 for practice and 54 for the game.
A huge wave capsizes a stolen boat, and an elderly dog is named the oldest ever. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This. A tense situation in dangerous open waters leads to a daring rescue, which ultimately leads to an arrest. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
A daring rescue of a man thrown from a capsized boat in icy ocean waters turned out to be just the tip of the iceberg. Coast Guard rescuers training in Oregon got a real-life distress call and responded to a boat in trouble in choppy coastal waters. As a rescue swimmer was making his way to the vessel, a massive wave capsized the boat, throwing the lone passenger into the water. The man was successfully rescued, but was later arrested. It turns out police say the boat had been reported stolen, and the rescued man was wanted on several charges in both the U.S. and Canada. A very bizarre twist to cap a very bold rescue. And from very bold to very cold, a mountaintop observatory in New Hampshire is believed to have broken a U.S. record for lowest temperature recorded after a brutal cold snap frosted the northeast region. This Mount Washington station is used to extreme temps at its nearly 6,300-foot summit, but the recently recorded minus 108-degree wind chill is a new low. So low, it's expected to beat the U.S. record low of minus 105 recorded in Alaska. And finally, from very cold to very, very old. Say hello to Bobby, the newly crowned world's oldest dog. This purebred livestock guardian dog, who lives in rural Portugal, is more than 30 years old. That's roughly twice the breed's life expectancy, and more than enough to knock Spike, a recently crowned Chihuahua mix from Ohio, out of the top dog spot. In fact, Bobby isn't just the world's oldest dog. Guinness World Records says he's the oldest dog to ever live. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Gotta say, really crazy topics, you guys.
Yeah.
I've never been on a boat that's capsized, but I have been on a relaxing, boat cruise ride. What about you guys?
No, I haven't been. Well, actually, no, yes, I have in Florida. I had a
how
fun
was
time
it?
with my family. It was nice.
It was nice. What'd you guys do?
We just watched the sunset and just relaxed.
I love that for you. What about you, Kendall?
I've been on a couple of cruises.
Oh,
and,
a couple. Excuse me.
Okay,
Humble
all right,
flex.
relax. But
Humble flex.
the turbulence or whatever they call it on the boat.
Boat turbulence.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, definitely.
It was a lot. Okay, and what about pets, guys? Do we have any pets that
No.
we hold dear? No.
Unfortunately, not. No.
Unfortunately,
I'm trying to get a dog though.
Really? What would you name your dog?
I got a lot of different names.
Give us a
I'm
couple
not
of
trying
them.
to expose myself.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe next time Kendall will let us know. But for now, thanks for tuning in.